We will repeat one or two points of yesterday. Day before yesterday, we have seen that the proponent has refuted nearly 20 types of other thoughts. They are all creations of the mind, or they are all illusory. The proponent is a Vedantin and Advaitin, believing only one thing. So he has to refute all others. Still, even after refuting 20 imaginations of others, 15 are left over. That we have told yesterday. Somebody says mind is real and intellect is real, heart is real, but here heart in the sense he says chitta, that is remembering portion of the mind. And the Purvamimamsaka says virtues and vices are righteousness and unrighteousness, dharma, dharma are real. And that is Purvamimamsaka. And Sankhya says 25 substratums are real. If you know them, you will be realized. You will be realizing. And some other says Pashupata 26. No, Pashupata is 31. Some other says 26. Yoga. And others says infinite substances are there. And some other says reality is in pleasures. And Prajapati, the followers of Prajapati says different stages of life are real. And grammarian says the genders are real, masculine, feminine and neuter genders. And the dualist says the higher and the lower Brahman. And some other says creation or delusion or sustenance, like this. Other 15 thoughts which are not coincidence, but coinciding what you cover. They are not going parallel with Vedas, or they don't stand for logic. That's why they are refuted. Now he says, the first one among these is prana, Hiranyagarbha, and subsistence or sustenance, sthiti, are various effects of prana. Prana is the cause. There he says prana as prajna, he says, because in the individual, the prajna is the causal state. From that, the dream and waking states are coming out. So, but the causal state in the combined is called Ishvara. But he says Ishvara is without name and form. Ishvara has produced prana. That it is to some extent we can infer, and the name is there. So all the imagination starts from prana thinking. So yes, put both together. He has explained prana as prajna. Both are causes. One is for the world, one is for the another is for the individual. And he says self is bereft of all these imaginations. Since it is of little benefit, we have not explained. The commentator says, whom a teacher or any other trustworthy person mentioned one of the above things, prana, etc., aspirant sees that object is the real and he identifies with it. I am this, this is mine. The self-identity. Because of that self-identity, his progress is there. Ye yathamam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamyaham. Whoever worships whatever it may be, I give results. That's what Sri Krishna says. So progress will be there. If you have, as Swamiji told yesterday, if you have some trust or faith on something, as we talked about Puranas, in most of the stories, they say if you go to this temple and worship, this particular desire will be fulfilled. We had been to Nadiyad. It is a place, a very good temple is there. So if they go and worship there, that those who are not getting children, they get children. So one day suddenly I saw they were throwing so many fruits bare. So many fruits. This badari phal bare. All over the ashram they are just simply throwing and somebody is taking, somebody is... I told, what is this? Those who are throwing, their wish is fulfilled. I ask, what wish? They come and worship here and they get children. So after getting children, they throw like this, something like this. They say. In many places, many types of, say, the worldly desires are fulfilled. When it is fulfilled, he gets result, trust and faith increases in that particular pilgrim center. For me, for example, I was not at all studying in my college days or school days. My father was always scolding. Then finally he told, you are not at all studying anything. If you fail, I will put you in Shat Kalasi. Shat Kalasi means the rail engine is there, so we have to clean the engine. Railway engine. So because you are not studying, you are useless fellow, I will put you there. All right.
Something like cleaner to the car.
Cleaner to the car, cleaner to the railway in those days. But I am having some belief, some faith in Lord Venkateshwara, Balaji. So I just prayed him, if I get class in my degree, I will visit you. Not studying anything. and getting a class, and that to the most difficult subjects we had in those days, especially in Andhra University, the chemistry, botany and zoology. For 5 years there was no class at all, first class. Some second class was there for few. But somehow, by the grace of God, just before examinations, I used to read some 3-4 topics, because such big books in organic chemistry, physical chemistry. Such big books. And in same way in botany and zoology also. Botany and zoology, big books. So I used to, whatever I like, 3-4 topics I just used to go through. If I go through once, I can write about it. So in that way, whatever I studied just before the examination, afterwards I forget, of course. And I used to go and write, and I got the class. So the first, as soon as we got the results, I got the class. We were nearly 39 students in our class, 19 girls and 17 boys, something like that. So from boys' side, I was the only person who got the class. And from girls' side, 2, I think they have got, whatever it may be. So in that way, the faith has increased. And when I want to renounce, when the idea came, at that time I saw the photo of Lord Venkateswara is above my head. So I thought he is the inspirer. In that way, what I mean to say is, and in these worldly desires, God do serve or say give fruits to increase the faith of the individual, and in that way. So here the master tells a disciple, you meditate on this, you will be benefited. And the student, he identifies with that object or with that thought or with the deity, whatever it may be. The self is separate from all manifested things. He who knows this truly comprehends the meaning of Vedas. Only one thing is there. Besides that, whatever is there, he says, it is all illusion. Self is separate from all manifested things. Prana, Hiranyagarbha, Ishvara, Vishwa, Taijasa, Prajna, all these things, they are all manifested. Only one thing in the whole world is there, which is not taking birth or death, and which is not manifesting, which is real. That is only, sir. In the relative plane. In the relative plane, two things are there. In the absolute plane, only one thing.
One can be real, the other cannot be real.
The absolute is real. Relative is illusory.
So there is no two things.
No, two things are there in the relative plane when you are having in ignorance. When you are having ignorance. Two are not real. That's why I say one is Atman and another is matter. How the matter can be real? This much of discrimination we are having. So from absolute plane, only one thing is there. In relative plane, because we are in relative plane, we have not jumped to the absolute. We have to accept too. And we should give up the matter. He who knows this truly comprehends the meaning of the Vedas. Idam sarvam yadayam atma. All this is indeed self. Like this, yesterday we have finished. If anybody is having any questions, like Krishna Darshan, they can ask without any hesitation. ఇక్కడ నుంచి తీసుకో. I have noted there. So, we consider everybody is understanding. So, we can go, proceed further. We can go ahead. Page 380. Knowing of Brahman alone is real. That is the meaning of Vedas. Knower of self alone is able to know the knowledge of Brahman. To this effect, he is quoting the Smriti. In the last para, that is in the 380, first para of the Sanskrit, last but third sentence from Nahi anadhyatmavit kaschit kriyaphalam upasnute iti hi manavam vachanam. None other than the knower of self is able to attain the results of action. Here, action, the word is used, but it is used in the sense of valid proof. Attains the results of valid proof. So don't get confused. The action here means the valid proof. And you can take in the other way also. When the action is there, result will be there. And what is the result? The result is Tattvajnanam, knowing the self. Though the rituals which have been told by the Vedas, Agnihotra, etc., through them he cleans his heart, cleans the mind, finally attains the goal. So many that he says here, by so many reasons, in the previous portion, that duality is unreal has been proved. To support the proof of the reasons, or to correct it, the next stanza or sloka is repeating. Swapna maye yatha dushte gandharva nagaram yatha tatha viswamidam dushtam vedanteshu vichakshanai. Just a dream and magic, as well as a city in the sky, are seen to be unreal, so too is this universe seen to be unreal from the Vedanta texts by the wise. By the wise. Now, here a new word comes, Gandharva Nagaram. That is the place where celestial musicians stay, Gandharva. Pushpadanta is also Gandharva. So, Pushpadanta, there is one Gandharva by name. He wrote Shivam Mahimna Stotram. He was a Gandharva, celestial musician. He used to worship Lord Shiva. So, for worshipping, he wanted very good flowers. Good flowers. So, he used to come to the garden of a king daily on the earth. And this particular king is also a devotee of Lord Shiva. So, he was having a big garden with good flowers. He being a celestial being, he used to come in subtle form and take away the flowers. Early morning the king says, oh, what happened to the flowers? Very difficult to find out. And he has told all the gardeners, be alert. But the gardeners told, flowers are being taken away by a formless person. Then the king thought how to catch hold of him. So, we worship with flowers and other materials. That should not be crossed, or we should not step on that, what has been worshipped. That is called Nirmalya. So the king ordered in each place, you just spread the Nirmalya. So he is not having farm. He has to go to one place to another. Like a ghost, he must be walking. When he got down, immediately, because he has stepped on the Nirmalya, he got all his power. He lost all his powers. Then he became with form as a ordinary human being. They were caught. He was caught. Then he writes this particular stotra, Shivamahimna stotra. Again he praises Lord Shiva and he got all his powers back. That is the story there. So, they are called Gandharvas. He was always, don't put, you have not informed others putting hands in mouth. He was doing, I told him to inform others also. It is Uchistam, it is called in Gita. With that again you should not touch the scripture and other things. It should be sacred. While class is going on, don't put your fingers in the mouth. If you put, you go and wash your hands and come back. But so, with the, it is called Uchistam in, that is a Tamoguna, and with that hands you should not touch the scripture. So be careful here onwards. We have already informed Shambhudevananda to inform others. Somehow or other, he has not informed. So we have to inform. I thought I can get the work through somebody. Now, what is the present contest? The Gandharva Nagara. Nagara is, say, is a town or something like that, you can say, city. Then we don't know about this. About Gandharva Nagara, we don't know. Then how the Gaudapada Acharya wrote about this? You see, when the sun is very hot, noon, 12 o'clock, you stand in the sun, your shadow should not fall on the ground. You should stand like that. In that particular time, you see for about 2-3 minutes the sun and close your eyes. You can see Gandharva Nagara. That is the effect. The city, Gandharva Nagara. Illusion. After a few minutes, Gandharva Nagara is gone. Oh, he is telling about that here. Swapnamaye yatha dushte Gandharva Nagaram yatha. Tatha Vishwamidam dushtam Vedantesh Vichakshanehi. The universe is seen to be unreal from the Vedanta text by the wise. Yet etat dvaitasya asattam muktam. What has been told so far, that the duality is unreal. Asattam muktam yuktitaha, through logic. Tad etat vedanta pramana avagatam ityaha. So far, what has been told, it is proved by Vedanta also. What is said to be the unreality of the duality in the light of reasoning is also derived from the valid proof of Vedanta text. That's why he says, Swapnascha. How the unreal is seen as real? Now again the opponent is asking. You see, all the duality is unreal. And we are seeing it. To answer this question, he has started this sloka. Swapnasya. Swapnasya maya cha swapna maye. Asadvastvatmike asatyau sadvastvatmike iva lakshete avivekebhi. By undiscriminating people, undiscriminating persons, it is seen, though it is unreal, it is seen as real. By the men devoid of discrimination, undiscriminating persons, I told. Dream and magic which are non-existent, unreal, are seen as though real. Just as an imaginary city in the sky is seen as though filled with large shops displaying vendable articles, houses, mansions, men and women engaged in transactions suddenly becomes vanished as one looks on, like dream and magic, which are seen to be unreal. So also is this universe, the whole of reality, seen as unreal. We have discussed already, we see a snake on the rope or silver on the piece of mother pearl. If it is not there, we cannot see. If it is there, we should take it, silver. Both things will not happen. It is just seen as if the unreal thing is seen as if it is real. When we want to take it, nothing is there. This is the illustration. And we see so many things in the dream. Even we may get large amount of money, but we cannot bring it from the dream to the waking state. We never take anything of the waking state in the dream. But we are the witness and seer of both the states, dream state as well as waking state. When we see something, an object is there, and we are the subject. A subject cannot be the object, object cannot be the subject in the relative world. But some, as I told you in my illustration, a drunkard, he has gone to that extent, he thinks I am the stick. That also may be there. So, whatever we see is not real. Take, for example, the sun. The sun is so big, is I think more than 1 lakh times bigger than the earth. But how we see him? Just a 9 inches ball, small ball. Then do you think this is real? Seeing the sun in such a small form? So even in day-to-day life, we see so many things. You are standing below the mountain, and if you see the top of the mountain, the trees you see as very small trees. But if you go there and see how big it is, and so many trees are combined, and from below you will see only one tree. They are all combined as if. All these things happen. This is because of the distance. We are not able to see the reality. In the same way, because of the lack of knowledge of scriptures, because of ignorance, or the attachment, or the ego, or the desire, we see the things as real, though they are unreal. It will be said. So we see the unreal as real. We are the seer. We are seeing. The waking state is unreal because you are seeing as we see this dream. Yathacha, so many shops are seen in the Gandharva Nagara. So many transactions are going on there. Somebody buying, somebody selling, somebody taking, somebody quarreling. That also will be there. So many houses, mansions, women, men, moving here and there they see in the Gandharva Nagara. All these three illustrations, now he is explaining what is to be explained through the illustration. Yathacha. He simply says, suddenly becomes vanished as one looks on like dream and magic. The Gandharva Nagar. Magic also. You might have seen some of the magicians. They put a body particular and they cut into pieces. But you don't see a single drop of blood. Then it is just covering your eyes with magic. You see something for something else. As also is this universe, the whole of duality seen as unreal. Though it is unreal, the undiscriminating persons, they see it as real. He had told. Yathacha, he says, in the Sanskrit text, second line, a cha is used. He is giving the meaning, the sub-comment. Cha is to show Gandharva Nagara, celestial magicians, township. They are all demigods. And he says, cha is used, neha nanasti kinchana. Only one thing is there, no duality. The dualism is unreal. That is told even by Smriti. Even not only the Vedas, the Smriti also says that he says, no, from the Vedanta text by wise, this universe seen to be unreal from the Vedanta texts. What are those texts? Kva ityaha Vedanteshu. Where it is seen thus, the unreal as real and real as unreal. Neha nanasti kinchana indro mayabhi pururupayete atmavedam agra asid brahmavayadam agra asid dvitiyadvai bhayam bhavati natu tadvitiyam asti yatatvasya sarvamatmaya bhut tatkenakam pashet vichakshanai nipunatara vastudarshibhi panditay rityatha. Those who perceive the real nature of things have declared the unreality of the duality in Vedanta text.
What's the word, the term for unreal here? It's asat, mithya?
No, mithya. Mithya. That which cannot be defined. Before realization, we say the things are there, though they are unreal. But after realization, we say they are superimposed. When you see the snake, Until you know that it is a rope, snake is there. But as soon as you see the rope, snake is gone. So it is there, it is not there. So how to define? Where from it has come? They said due to ignorance from the mind it has come. So it is called mithya, unreal. Here for asat, for unreal he has used asat. Asat. Asat in the sense, you see, a son of barren woman, he cannot be that. So it is called asat. In the same way, the world is not, he says. Asat. Unreal, but Gita Charya says, Anityam asukham lokam dukkhalayam asashvatam. That is why it is unreal. Anityam asukham lokam imam prapya bhajisvama. About the word he says, Anityam asukham. It is unreal. And there is no happiness, no bliss, as Swamiji says. And dukkhalayam asashvatam, full of sorrow, and not real. It is not permanent.
In the same line, the word asad that is used here is quotes here are from the Shruti.
Hmm?
The quotes, there are many, many quotes from the Brihadaranyaka.
Mm-hmm.
The word asat in these quotes relates to what? In what sense?
Actually, in the relative plane, they use these two words. Sat, a thing which we see in the relative plane, and asat, a thing which is not there in the relative plane. That is, son of a barren moon, a sky flower, horn for a man, like this. But the actual reality is beyond this both. The Sat and Asat are explained here taking into consideration of the seeing world. And the reality is beyond. Previously also I told you, Dvavimo Purusha Loke Ksharas Sakshari Yavacha. Ksharas Sarvani Bhutani. That which all perish is all the living beings. Akshara, there is a Skutastar Maya in Gita. Uttama Purushasthanyaha. The actual Atma or the real person is beyond both these. That is beyond Maya and beyond all the perishable things. So taking into consideration that world is real, it is not real, unreal. As son of barren woman. It is not there.
గీతలో 8వ అధ్యాయంలో అక్షర బ్రహ్మ యోగం చెప్పారు. అక్కడ వేరే అక్షరం కూడా చెప్పారు. అది కూడా చెప్పాను.
ఆ శ్లోకం ఏంటి? Purushottama. Hmm.
Adhibhutam Satatam Brahma. In Gita 8th chapter, when he says about Akshar Brahma, that Akshar is again different from
From
the
this Akshara,
chapter of
15th chapter.
what he says. So it depends on the context where he is talking about.
Though the passages such as there is no difference here whatsoever, Kathopanishad, Nehananasti Kinchana, and Brihadaranyaka also it comes. The Lord due to Maya appears as manifold. Here in the original text it says Indra. Indra means not the ruler of all petty gods. Indra here in sense the Paramatman. In Aitreya Upanishad this comes. Idantaya janati iti idindraha. Paroksha priyahi devaha. The Idindra is called as Indra. So Indra means the Lord of the universe, the Brahman. Maya abhihi, through illusion, he is creating, taking the support. Atma Vedam agre asit. So in translation, in the place of Indra, he gives the Lord. He has not translated Indra as Indra. Due to Maya, it appears as manifold. This was but the self, the one in the beginning. Atmavedamagra asit. In the beginning, this was indeed Brahman. Brahmavedamagra asit. Fear arises indeed from a second entity. Fear arises, it is from the second entity. One who sees the oneness, one who is experiencing the oneness, for them there is no fear. But there is not this second thing. Natu tad dvitiyam asti. Yatra tasya sarvam atmaiva bhut tat kenakam pashyet. When only one thing is there, the enlightened ones, but when the self has become everything to the man of realization, with what he sees what he can see with what, kenakam pashyet. Vichakshanai nipunatara vastudarshibi panditair ityartha. Where it is seen that the world is unreal? In the scriptures. By whom? By the discriminating people, but by those who perceive the real nature of things. A thing is appearing, that is temporary. It is vanishing in the flow of time. I have declared the unreality of the duality. In the darkness, we see a rope as a snake. So the rope is the base or support to see the snake. Because of ignorance, our appearance is not clear. A person who has not seen a snake previously or now, he will not be having this delusion. Just like children. they go and catch even the snake, even the scorpion. We don't know. So if somebody sees, they remove them. Hey. But the snake is not there on the rope. As fear, it is inside. That here he says ignorance. The snake is in its soul. Here rope is there. The silver is in the shop. How the shop silver you are seeing here? It has not come here. So we call it illusion.
Swamiji, relation what was said right now. We see in the Adhyasa Upadesha,
Ah.
Adi Shankaracharya, where he says what Swamiji said right now, that in order to see the superimposed snake, there must be a memory
Ah.
of a snake seen previously. Has to be. But Swamiji said that this type of avidya, superimposition, this is not mula avidya.
Hmm.
But
Tula Vidya.
mula avidya. But now if we take the mula avidya, and we take the same explanation that Adi Shankaracharya gives, which is to be able to see the superimposed thing, there must be a memory.
Hmm.
So we learned in the Agama Prakarana that Vishwa, Taijasa, Agni, they are all superimposed on the other. And being superimposed, we take them to be
Real.
although they are not real. And what is real, we don't apprehend and also misapprehend.
Hmm.
Then, due to it, what it comes is that the reason of us seeing reality this way, if we take the words of Adi Shankaracharya in the Adhyasa Bhashya, is also because of a memory.
Hmm.
Means that the reason that I see this superimposition the way I see it is because I saw it this way previously.
Smriti Rupa Paratra Purvadushtava Bhasaha. In Bhashya, Smriti Rupa, you can see the sentence.
And then he says that avidya is without beginning,
Hmm.
no beginning. So having no beginning means that in innumerable lifetimes, in this creation, previous creation, innumerable lifetimes, again and again and again and again, I have seen this superimposition. So now this memory, this samskara is very powerful,
Hmm.
which means it should be extremely difficult
Hmm.
to remove it. Then somehow it has to be removed by creating another samskara.
Hmm.
And this is what Swamiji said, Brahmakara Vritti.
Hmm.
So Swamiji said that Brahmakara Vritti is the thing that is going to remove that samskara that has been created in innumerable lives, due to which there is this superimposition that we see. Brahmakara means the samskara that comes out of
Sravana Manana Nididhyasana.
so that's also that's what I wanted to.
In Yoga Sutras, it has been given as kasaya, the deep impressions of the mind. That is why in Gita he says, Aneka janma samsiddhas tato yanti parangati. After practicing for so many births, finally he realizes, Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. The bad impressions due to ignorance, which is not having a beginning, it has been coming. Now all of a sudden it is not easy to remove them. So it takes, even life she takes, bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. But a man of knowledge because he is hearing Vedanta, he dissolves the waking into the dream, dream into the sleep, sleep into the turiya. So just by the, what you have, dint, D-I-N-T, what you dint of, by just confidence, which he got through knowledge, he can dissolve these things and can think of one thing. While thinking of one thing, that is, the other impressions are removed by themselves. So the more and more you concentrate on this oneness, the easier to remove all the other impressions in the mind. But they have to be eliminated completely. They should be removed. Not even a single other desire or vasana or trishna, nothing should be there. This is, we call yogas chitta vritti nirodha, he says. So, all other vrittis should be stopped. And finally, because only the Shastras say oneness, and this particular vritti is in the mind, and the mind also should be dissolved in the Atman. Mind also should be dissolved. That's why Sri Ramakrishna says, the salt doll went to measure the ocean and it has dissolved. Oh, we wanted to know and know, saying.
Another thing that Swamiji mentioned a few times during this teaching was that the Antaryami,
Antaryami.
Ishvara, he created the world in order to distribute
There.
fruits of previous action of the jivas.
Ah.
And the indication that it is so is seen in our own mind. Swamiji say that we all claim that this is our mind, but in spite of it, we see that we would like the mind to do one thing, but the mind does it as it wishes. It seems so. So then, if it is my mind, how come that I want to pull the mind within, but the mind goes outward? Then Swamiji says it goes outward because the jiva has to experience the fruits of its own action. This is the will of Ishvara.
Ishvara.
So, in face of the will of Ishvara, I seem to be powerless. Then, if this is so, what can the yogi do in order to be able to turn the mind within? Because the yogi or the human being cannot resist the will of Ishvara.
No, it is not so. All the Shastras, they teach how to practice. Abhyasena tu kaunte vairagyena cha grihyate. So, Ishvara finally is not different from you. When you say Aham Brahmasmi, when you practice, he helps you. Previously, I gave the illustration. Fire is there. If you sit here, you will not get the heat of the fire. But if you go near, you will get the heat and light of the fire. So, all the Shastras, they are telling how to practice, what to practice. So, this, depending on the discrimination and dispassion of the individual, it increases. But if he is not having discrimination, simply staying in the world, I want to control the mind, how is it possible? So, the Shastras, they say how to control. And for that, you should have discrimination. The first very discrimination is the world is unreal. So, if you go on pouring, say, ghee and supplying the firewood to the fire, it will never come down. So what first you have to do to lessen the fire, you should take away the firewood and you should not pour ghee or any material in it. So slowly it will come down. In the same way, Nirodha, Chittavritti Nirodha is that knowing that other things are unreal, don't engage mind in the sense objects. Then, and in this particular point, Vedanta helps a lot. Mind is an inert thing. I am not the mind. Let me not follow the mind. Bas. Very simple. So the knowledge of the scriptures, through that, with, say, more effort, you can very easily get established in that. Now, you have known very clearly that the world is unreal, and I always want to meditate on the Atman. That is only the real thing. But still, because of the previous impressions, at times mind may go to the objects or something else, something whatever you may call. But when the pan is very hot, if you put little water, chui, it goes away. In the same way, if the knowledge is more, the discrimination is more in you, the dispassion is more, then the things, whatever comes in the mind, just give a kick, it goes away. Is all right?
One more thing, Swamiji, in this regard, connected to this subject. Lord Krishna tells Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, it is very difficult to cross over this Maya of mine. Only I can take you beyond my own Maya. That's what he says.
No. Mameva ye prapadyante. Those who surrender to me alone,
Yes.
I remove this thing.
So in this regard, Swamiji, surrender has to do with bhakti. And Lord Krishna tells Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, there are 4 types of bhakti.
Artho jignasura arthati jnana cha bhartasava.
And he said among the 4 types, that bhakta which is the most dear to me is the man of knowledge.
Knowledge.
And he gives the reason. Why? Because he's my own self.
My own self.
So, my understanding is that this is in the same line with what Swamiji said right now. Swamiji said that we cannot resist the will of Ishvara. But if we remember that actually Ishvara is our own self, this is what Swamiji called the Mahavakya, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. So, this is, according to what Adi Shankaracharya explains, the highest form of bhakti, meditating on the self. So,
Swaswarupa sandhanam bhaktiritya bhidiyate.
So in this way, this would be self-surrender. This is what Lord Krishna tells Arjuna. Very difficult to cross over my own Maya, but to self-surrender. And then that self-surrender is the self-surrender of the man of knowledge.
That is one of the reason in Vedanta, even this worship of Lord Shiva or Vishnu is not being encouraged in pure Vedanta. They say even to purify the mind, Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasana are only the sadhanas even to purify the mind and to attain knowledge or remove ignorance, because attaining knowledge is all automatically done. So to remove the ignorance and to purify the mind, no other worship is needed of Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, anything. Just Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasana. These are the sadhana, they say.
Sanyasya sravanam kuryat.
So as Swamiji said.
18th 55, you tell the English meaning. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yasyatmi tattvataha tato mam jnatva vishate tadanantaram. Bhaktya, he says, those who know me through devotion. What to know? How much I am expanding, what is my real nature, knowing that, then he enters into me. No, but English. No, huh?
What you have said is the same.
So Gita is there? 1855. There he uses the word bhakti. But bhakti, it is equal to highest knowledge. Yavan jasyasmi tattvata, only through scriptural knowledge you can know what is his nature, how he is expanded in all the worlds, all these things. Huh? You read it.
It's a very long thing.
Huh? No, just the meaning.
By devotion, he knows me in truth,
Ah.
what and who I am.
Ah.
Then, having known me in truth, he forthwith enters into the supreme.
But this much. So, this Shankara says, moksha sadhana samagryam bhaktireva gariyasi swaswarupa sandhanam bhaktiritya. By thinking one's own self, thinking one's own self is called bhakti, he says. And actually, see, the culmination of the 4 yogas, though they seems to be subsidiary, but the culmination where they go, now just like he says bhakti, in the same way yoga also are in, say, karma yoga. Only the man of highest knowledge can do properly karma yoga. Without the, see, when you are doing a work for the society or for others, you want name and fame, or some selfish motive may be there, or at least you think, oh, I have helped him so much, he should thanks me. So giving up the ego and giving up the desire for name and fame, all these things will not come till you get established in Atman. That's why Swami Brahmanji says, as Swamiji told, trust and faith. So somebody went and asked him, when I will get faith? Simply Swamiji is when you realize. Full faith you will get. So the world is, the snake on the rope is seen because of ignorance or by not discriminating. So too the wise enlightened see the world as very unstable. He says, as an ignorant person sees the snake on the rope, the wise see that the world is unreal. Nasha prayam. Even in present, it is not real, he says, in present. The duality is never seen to give happiness. Swamiji yesterday told you. But seen, but the world is seen is full of sorrow. That's what Shastra says. Dukkhalayam asashvatam. It is devoured by decay. It is perishable, everything. Nasagrastam. And after decay, it is again not seen. So, it is not absolute reality. The world. Tamas sabranibham drishtam varsha budbhuda sannibham nashaprayam sukhadhinam nashottaram abhavagam iti vyasa smriti. The same meaning of this sloka I have now read. In support for what? That the world is unreal. Here is the smriti of Vyasa. This universe is perceived by the enlightened as unreal, as a narrow opening on the ground, which a rope looks to be in darkness, or as ever unstable, like a bubble in rainwater, devoid of bliss and ceasing to be in existence after dissolution. They compare this world to the drop of rainwater which is just hanging from a leaf. At any time, it may fall down. So, enlightened, they see as unreal. By scriptural support and logic, duality is proved as unreal. The supreme truth is non-dual. Whatever is decided now, so far, he is telling in a nutshell. न निरोधो न चोत्पत्ति न बद्धो न साधका न मुमुक्षु न वै मुक्त इत्येषा परमार्थता. The most important sloka. There is no dissolution, no origination, no creation. None in bondage. Yes, nobody in bondage. None possessed of the means of liberation. None desirous of liberation. None liberated. This is the ultimate truth. Prakaranaartho upasamharartho ayam slokaha. He has started this particular context to tell that world is unreal. Now he wanted to close the topic. Prakaranartha upasamharartha. This verse is intended to conclude the topic of this section. Vaitatya Prakarana. He is telling what is the topic. And if we understand this particular topic, what are we going to gain? Then, yatha vitatam daitatma eva ekah paramathatah san tadeta tada idam nishpannam bhavati. Sarvoyam laukiko vaidikasya vyavharo avidya vishaye eviti. The same word he uses in Adhyasa Bhashya. He says, when duality is unreal and the one self alone is existent, in reality, it becomes a settled fact that all activities, conventional and scriptural, that is conventional in relative plane, scriptural, come under the plane of ignorance. Come under the plane of ignorance. Na cha baddha, na sadhaka, na sadhana. All things he says.
When the mind is purified,
Mm.
there is self-realization.
Mm.
So my question, what is the connection exactly? Does it come automatically or does it come after some time?
You have to practice, you have to remove all the desires. While meditating, so many thoughts will be coming into your mind. So many types of dreams you are seeing. Where from they are coming? Huh? From the mind. So, you have to cleanse those impressions. The connection is you are attached to the mind. So you should be the witness of the mind. Mind is matter, let it go. Let it go to darks. I'm not care. I don't care. Connection between the mind and
When the mind purifies, does it take some time to get realized once the mind is purified? This is all the question, isn't it?
Yes, and then if you can say that self-realization is a result
It's
of the
not a
mind
result. No,
being purified.
no, no, it's not.
you are removing the dust.
You are already
Uh,
realized that, but
that
you
what
don't
he
realize
says.
that you are already realized.
The whatever obstruction is there, that obstruction you are removing. That is in the mind. Mala vikshepa avarana.
So can you say that it's automatic when the mind is purified?
Yes, instant. Instantly. When you put the light, darkness has gone. When darkness goes, light is there. No distinction even in fraction of second.
It's like a dust on a mirror. If you just clean the dust, you don't need to do any other action to see your image in the mirror or cleansing the water.
So in the Gita there is the path of action and the path of knowledge. So the path of action is to purify the mind,
Mm.
and then the path of knowledge. So what is the path exactly? So if you are already
In second chapter, he has given the Sthita Prajna Lakshana, a man who has realized what are his symptoms. So that is the knowledge. But those who want to get that knowledge should follow the path of karma and they should be able to know, they should develop those qualities within himself. Both sadhya is there, sadhana is there. In the same way, in 16th chapter, he gave Asura Sampatti. A man of realization is already having all the qualities of God. Those who want to be, they should get them. And what to remove, that also he has given. So, the whatever symptoms he gave there, that is for both. For the realize, for the man to practice. Who is practicing, he should get all those qualities. Then you will be realized.
so there is nothing else other than purifying the mind.
This is, I told many times. He may belong to any corner of the world. If he want to have the highest bliss, he should cleanse the mind. No other go. Cleansing the mind means removing the dust. Avarana. Mala vikshepa avarana last time Swamiji told. Avarana. It is you are already like that what he says. Aham atma gudakesha sarvabhutasha sthita as atmana I am already there. You have put something on that. So remove. That is your duty, not his duty.
And when the karma yoga purifies the mind, and when you say that just by purifying the mind you will realize yourself, why is there a need of jnana yoga?
No.
That's what he has asked to say.
No, he asked me the difference of Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga.
Yeah,
He is asking about
there is some, I just don't understand why they call it a path. If you have a path of purifying the mind,
Uh,
and why do they say a path of knowledge? What exactly is the path?
there are, see, different types of ideas in between persons. So those who cannot meditate on the self, removing all the desires, putreshna, lokeshna, vitteshna, so they follow those who have removed the desire, they follow the path of knowledge. Those who cannot give up the desire, they follow the path of karma. Even from the beginning of the creation, Swamiji also told, two paths are there. That is, selection is on the individual. If you are not having any desire, just think of self. You are a man of knowledge. If you are having desires, still you wanted to stay in the world, then follow the path of action. Depending on the taste of individual, the two types of path.
But it sounds like there is no path.
You are already that what he is telling now.
path of knowledge is to understand your true form. Just imagine that you understand yourself, even though you are seeing the image of yourself, but you will not know that this is me or this is I. So the path of knowledge says that you have two ears, you have two eyes, that you can understand that what I am seeing is the self of mind. That is the path of knowledge. To know your true form, to know your true self, that is the path of knowledge. That what Shastra explains, that you are not this body, you are not this, which is something beyond. So when the Shastra says, when you clean your mind, when you clean the image, when you clean the mirror, you will see an image with two eyes, two ears, and what is an ear? That will be explained by the knowledge. So then you will understand, oh, what I am seeing is an image of mind. Because you have never seen your image in the mirror. So even though you clean the mirror, you are seeing something, but you will not be able to recognize that this is my own self. That is the path of knowledge.
No, he is asking why there are two paths.
What is the relevance of knowledge? What he is asking. Because when you say the path of karma already purifies the mind and knowledge is not the effect or something, then why is the relevance of knowledge what he was asking? So this is the relevance.
Relevance, after purifying only you will get knowledge.
Got it?
Say, to purify the mind, to remove the oscillations, this karma is necessary. Then knowledge is already there. It automatically comes.
But how will you know that you have already reached there? That is it.
So he says, there is no dissolution, no origination, no creation, none in bondage, none possessed of means of liberation, none desirous of liberation, none liberated. This is the ultimate truth. No, now you are in ultimate truth. This is knowledge. Na nirodha nirodhanam nirodha pralayaha. What has been explained, again now he is telling with the question and answer. That is next, of course, it comes katham. Before that, nirodha is same as nirodhana, which means stoppage or dissolution. There is no dissolution. Utpatti, no origination. Buddha, the jiva individual is individual in samsara, and sadhaka, one possessed of means of liberation, mumukshu, one desirous of liberation, mukta, one liberated from bondage, as there is the absence of origination and dissolution, there is no bondage or the like. This is the highest truth. Again he says, how can there be the absence of origination and dissolution? How? For that he is telling, what has been explained again, now he is telling with the question and answer from katham. How? If the duality is not there, then how creation and origination? And are they belong to the existing duality or to the non-existing reality? That is the question. Then he says, yatra hi dvaitamiva bhavati. How can there be the absence of origination, dissolution? You are talking from the standpoint of duality or non-duality, or when duality is not there. When duality is absent, origin and dissolution too are absent. The absence of duality is proved by various Shrutis passages such as, where there is duality as it were, whoso here sees as through difference, all this is Brahman alone. Yaiha naneva pashyati. The man of ignorance sees the difference. and he sees the duality. And man of knowledge sees Atma Vedam Sarvam. Brahma Vedam Sarvam, everything is Brahman. Only one thing is there. Idam Sarvam Yadayam Atma, that everything is Atman, all this is Brahman alone. One without a second. Idam Sarvam, one without a second. All this is but the self. How can there be the absence of creation and dissolution? That is taking the support. The man of realization, he sees that everything as superimposed on Brahman. That Brahman alone is real and is always in that, rather to say. He gets dissolved in the Atman. There is no oscillations of the mind for him, man of knowledge. He is not disturbed by anything. The unreality of duality has been told by the support of the scriptures. If the duality is not there, then how creation and dissolution? Now again he is asking the question. He said duality is not there, and again we see creation and dissolution. They are also not there. Are they belong to the existing duality or the non-duality? The opponent is asking question. He just mixes the absolute and the relative and the non-duality and duality. And when nothing is there, again where from he is bringing the creation? When we say the world is unreal, nothing is there. Again he asks, you see, that means he is mixing both the absolute and the relative. And just to remove the confusion of the ignorant people. That's all he is asking. If the duality is not there, then how creation and dissolution? This is being answered. Sato hi utpatti pralayo vasya na satah sasavishanade. A thing that is existent can have the creation and dissolution, but not a non-existing thing like a horn of hair. That is it. A thing which is existing can have the creation or dissolution. Space is there and it is having an adjunct. We call it part space. A part is broken as if there is creation and as if there is dissolution because of the creation of the adjuncts. Similarly,
but existence is sat. And sat is something that is always there. It doesn't change. It doesn't have a birth and death. And now you say, if it is sat, then it must have a birth and death. So there is a contradiction.
because he asked the question, if only one reality is there, where from the creation and dissolution has come? That is, from the standpoint of ignorant people, because the agent is created, he says, he sees the part space different from the other space. So he says that part has manifested, part is created. So in the part what is there? Space is there. That is not changing. What is changing? The agent is changing. So, from the standpoint of the agent, there is creation and dissolution. That is we call world. So, and here he says, the ignorant people are having these ideas. That's why in the beginning itself I told, the opponent always confuses. He will not stand in one plane. He should stand in the absolute plane or he should stand in the relative plane. But he mixes both and he puts a question. Huh? If you are in relative plane, you are an ignorant person. If you are in absolute plane, you are a man of knowledge. Then there is no question at all. But he brings that absolute into the relative. The very question, if you see, you can understand, if the duality is not real, then where the creation and dissolution? You are telling duality is not there, only one thing is there. In one thing, how can be creation and dissolution? The question itself is not wrong, is wrong. That's why to make him understand or to explain, he is giving the answer. This is.
ఆయన అడిగాడు దానికి కింద విష్ణుదేవానంద గిరిజీ రాశారు సతః అంటే విద్యమానస్య
Vidyaman. That only I read, the existence.
Here the sixth pontiff of Kailas Ashram writes a footnote on Sataha, what you have asked, Sataha. So it says in the relative plane, Vidyamanasya Sataha, not continuous. Yeah, the same what Swamiji has just told.
The thing that is existent can have creation or dissolution, but not a non-existing thing, like a an affair. Similarly, the non-dual two does not become born or absorbed. Similarly, the non-dual two, that is the absolute Atman, does not become born or absorbed. So, he is telling both the planes, relative plane and absolute plane, because the question itself is like that. It is contradictory to say that a thing is non-dual in nature is also subject to birth and death. See, he clears it more. Advayam cha utpatti pralayavacha viprati. That's why I told the very question is wrong. When only one thing is there, in one thing there is no creation. That's why he says, it is contradictory to say that a thing non-dual in nature is also subject to birth and death. Here our teacher has given some explanation. The self is self-effulgent, and that we call Brahman. In that, the world is imagined, or because of illusion, the world is created. And this Brahman is having three adjectives. These adjectives also are used from the standpoint of relative world. Otherwise only neti neti. Sat, Chid, Ananda. So Sat is existence, Chit is knowledge, and Ananda is bliss. What this ignorance does, it cannot cover the existing portion. Then what it does, the knowledge and the bliss it covers. That's why an individual is confused with the reality of the world. Existence it cannot cover, ignorance. Huh? The Atman is having three adjectives: existence, knowledge, bliss. it cannot, the ignorance cannot cover the existence because it is taking support from it. And it covers only knowledge and bliss. That's why he says, I am having the worldly knowledge, I am getting the happiness from the objects. So the real bliss and knowledge is covered by the ignorance. That's what our teacher told. And the real self is beyond proof. What proof you can give for your existence? You are existing, that itself is a proof. So other proof is not necessary. That also he told. You just I have to go to bathroom and come this. Universe is troubling us. Just I will come within 2 minutes. Page? Huh? Huh? No, we are in 383. 383 is over. So we have to start. So it is contradictory to say that a thing non-dual in nature is also subject to birth and death. Because we have accepted the relative plane of dualism, to that we can say that there is creation, dissolution. If he questions like this, it is answered, yastu punar dvaita samvyavaharaha sa rajju sarpavad atmani pranadi lakshana kalpita ityuktam. As regards the function of prana, etc., which borders on duality, it has been said already that it is superimposition on the self like that of a snake on a rope. Where from this creation and dissolution has come? He simply says it is just like superimposing on this snake on the rope. The world actually is not created, not dissolved, because it is superimposed as rope snake. The opponent says the illustration is not correct. Illustration is not correct. Rope snake is created on the rope or dissolved there. He is asking, your illustration is not correct. The rope snake is created on rope or dissolved there. Whether it is created or dissolved, whether it is appears or not appears. Or you say it is in the mind. The snake is created on the rope or not, or the snake is in the mind, or both. That is the opponent question. He confuses you also. He has asked 3 questions. When you hear the answer, you will understand. First question is answered or refuted. Nahi. Nahi mano vikalpanaya rajju sarpad lakshanaya rajvam pralaya utpattirva. A mental imagination of characteristic of a snake in a rope cannot be originated from or dissolved in the rope. He has asked whether the snake has come, the rope snake is created on rope or dissolved there. Says it cannot be. A mental imagination of the characteristic of a snake in a rope cannot be created or dissolved in the rope. Rope is rope and snake is snake. So, how the rope can be a snake? Mental creation, that is coming later. First he says, rope is a rope. So, on the rope there is no snake. It is not created, it is not dissolved. First question is answered. This is mental imagination. Seeing. And now he says, is it in mind, the snake? For that he is answering. Whoever sees a rope, he should see a snake. If you say, a snake is created on the rope, so wherever you see a rope, you should see a snake. It is also not correct. If you say it is in mind, the snake is in the mind, that is answering. The second question. Nahi mano vikalpanaya rajju sarpadi lakshanaya rajvam pralaya utpattirva. Nacha manasi rajju sarpasya utpatti pralayo va nacha ubhayo va. Even in the mind, it is not there. Nor does the creation or dissolution of a rope snake takes place in the mind, nor does it so happen in both. So too is the case with the duality, which is not different from the mental illusion. For duality is not perceived when the mind is restrained or during deep sleep. In samadhi and in sleep, we don't see any mental illusion. So too is the case with the duality, which is not different. That is Advaita. From mental illusion or duality is not perceived when the mind is restrained or during deep sleep. Nacha manasi rajju sarpasya utpatti pralayava or ubhayova. Both things cannot be there in the mind. Manasatva avishesha dvaitasya. But the duality belongs to the mind. He says, duality belongs to the mind. Nahi niyate manasi sushupte va dvaitam gurhyate. After controlling the mind and in sleep, you don't see the duality. So it is the nature of the mind. The duality is nature of the mind, but not of the Atma. That he has told. We see outside. What we see outside? The snake on the rope. So now the third question is answered. In both places, that is the rope and mind, he has asked, see whether it is in the rope or in the mind or in both the places. So he says, it is not there in both the places. Because when you sleep and when you control the mind, there is nothing. Both rope and mind cannot be support because by logic, for one thing, there cannot be two bases. Now again you see, he is, because he is told, na nirodho na chotpatti, that he wanted to prove. There is no utpatti. It is not on the rope, it is not on the snake, it is not on the both, it is only the mental illusion. Now again he is going till deeper. He says, both rope and mind cannot be support rope and mind cannot be the support, because by logic, for one thing there cannot be two supports. You take mind or rope. Is told in rope it is not there. Why? Whenever you see a rope, you should see a snake. If it is snake is on there on the rope. That we don't see. At times only we see. And it cannot be in both the places, in the mind and the rope. A rope snake is the vibration of the mind, spandana. So, in reality, there is no creation of snake or its dissolution. That's why na nirodha na chotpatti. This we can show by tatha manasatva avishesha dvaitasya. The duality is the nature of the mind. And further he says, if it is the nature of the mind, it should be there always. When the mind is controlled, when the mind is in sleep, you don't see the creation or the dissolution. Duality is not real, or creation or dissolution are real. In duality, the duality is mental illusion. That now is going to refute in the next line that we will do tomorrow. Ato mano vikalpana matram dvaitamiti siddham. The duality is only in the mind, he says. Duality is proved to be the mere mental illusion.